Good evening, beautiful people of the You Create the Dream page, and welcome to Awake in the Dream. I have come on about 30 seconds early. Do say hi as you come on. Let me know that you're here. I'm going to make sure that I am turning up on my device. Here we are. Hello, everybody. Do say hi as you come on. There we go. Let's see. Okay, beautiful. Now I just need to find out if comments are working on the computer or the phone. Hello, Lynn, how are you? I hope everybody had an amazing weekend. We're just going to wait a moment for a few people to join us before we start. Just say hi as you come on. Let me know that you're here because I do love to always acknowledge your divine presence. It looks like I am having to rely on my phone again for comments. Okay, let's see. Okay, I would love to know where you are joining from, and has the weather cooled at your place? It has been quite chilly here in the mornings. The days have been beautiful, but the mornings have been very cold. I think we were down to just below 1 degree this morning or yesterday morning. So today we're going to be talking, hello beautiful Libby, how are you? Today we're going to be having a very important conversation about trauma, or trauma truth, let's call it, and transformation, and the real root cause of our pain. So this conversation is raw. It requires honesty with yourself, and honesty is deeply important if you're wanting to target the root cause of your issues, especially if you have reoccurring patterns and programs. Hey Libby, I'm well, thank you. How are you today? So it's an important conversation that I believe and everything I'm actually about to share with you, I believe we all need to hear, not just with our minds, but with our hearts. And if you've done any work with me in the past, you know that I always talk about the fact that head and heart alignment is extremely important. If you want to integrate something, it's not enough to know it. It's not enough to understand it, but you have to integrate it. And to integrate something means that you're in alignment with it. So your head and heart is coherent with those thoughts, those beliefs, those understandings, that you're in complete alignment with it. Oh my goodness, it looks like comments are also turning up on the computer. Hello. Good evening, Valerie. Good evening, Rencha. Hello, beautiful people. Lovely to see you here. Good evening, Jenny. How about that? Cool mornings for you, Jenny, and a lovely warm day. We've had beautiful days here too. Okay, good evening, everybody. So we're having a conversation about trauma, about how it is, like the real root cause of the stuff that goes on with us, the reason we maybe hang on to it subconsciously. And it's so important that we understand this, not with just our minds, but with our hearts, because this isn't just about information. Information is up here, but transformation means embodying something. This is where head and heart alignment is so extremely important. It's about seeing yourself, seeing your story and your struggles through a completely different lens, a lens of compassion, a lens of truth, and a lens of deep and ultimate healing. Hello, beautiful Gosha. How are you? Hello, beautiful people. So in my teachings, I've always said that trauma isn't about a significant physical experience. It's not about the thing that happened. It's about a significant emotional experience. So it's not the thing, it's not the event itself, it's how you respond to it. Because we could all be in the same venue, let's say, and something terrible happens. Now, although we share the exact same physical experience or the exact same physical event, we all have our own personal experiences. So it's really important that we understand that the damage is done not by the thing that happened, but our reaction or how we responded to what happened. That's where the damage is done. So let's start this by remembering something really powerful. And actually, Dr. Gabor Maté, someone whose work I do deeply respect and I resonate with, says the same thing in his words. Or in his words, they are: trauma is not what happens to you, it's what happens inside you as a result of what happens to you, which is the same thing I've just said. This aligns so closely with the work that I have been doing for nearly 28 years. When we target the root cause, we change everything. So I've been doing this work for nearly 28 years through CTC, the Combined Therapy Cocktail. And actually, we have some of our therapists here on the call. So for all my CTC therapists that are on the call now, or if you join via replay, I would love for you to put your details in the comments. When I say details, yep, I'm a CTC therapist and available. Actually, I will make it clear for you. All you need to do is say, I'm a CTC therapist. For everybody listening, all of our CTC therapists are available via Zoom globally. So all you need to do is you need to know that you're ready to heal. You need to know that you're ready for more. You need to just find the person that resonates with you the most, or that you resonate with the most. And there you go. So for all of our CTC therapists, do mention in the comments that you are a therapist and available to see people. So today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be exploring trauma and its lifelong effects. We're going to be talking about addiction as a coping mechanism rather than a moral failing, because we all have addictions. The mind-body connection, how suppressed emotion manifests as illness, and childhood development, particularly how our need for attachment can override our truth. I think I need to say that one again. I really like that. We're going to also discuss how our need as a young child for attachment overrides our truth. So I have a feeling that this conversation is probably going to stir something within each of you. It'll land where it needs to land. It may awaken pieces of you that you have perhaps kept buried. And if it does, I want you to let that be a sign that you are ready for healing. I want you to let that be a sign that something has shifted inside of you and is making its way up and out. So most people think trauma is reserved for war zones, abuse, or severe events. But trauma doesn't have to be dramatic to be destructive. It's not defined by the event, remember? It's defined by your internal response. Excuse me. Oops, and something's beeping somewhere. So, hi Kylie, how you going? Marina, hello, hello. Just want to make sure I haven't missed anybody. Hello, hello. So I want you to remember that your trauma is defined not by the event itself. It is defined by your internal response. It's that moment where perhaps as a young child you felt unsafe. Maybe you felt unheard. Maybe you felt unseen, and you shut down a part of yourself just to survive. That suppression of self, that's trauma. You shut down an aspect of you. You stopped shining bright. You stopped believing that you were okay, and you started to believe something else. And if that energy is never resolved, it gets trapped in your body. It is literally frozen in time. You might look like a grown adult on the outside, but inside there is a younger version of you that is still holding on to your pain. You're still holding your breath, still waiting to feel safe, still waiting to feel like you're enough, still waiting for the opportunity to speak, still waiting for someone to say, it's okay, you're safe now. You're allowed to be you. But maybe that was never said. And until we heal that, we stay stuck in these cycles. What happens is we repeat the same patterns over and over again. We attract the same relationships. We carry, we carry the same wounds into different seasons. That's all we're doing. We can't outrun ourselves. So whatever your addiction is, that's not the real problem. And we all have addictions. Dr. Gabor says, and he actually says it really beautifully. He says, I need to try and remember the words exactly as he says it. But he says the question is not why the addiction, but why the pain. Addiction, whether it is alcohol, whether it is food, whether it is validation, whether it is achievement, control, or people, like people aren't the problem. What you're doing, your behavior, the way you're dealing with life is a symptom. It's a strategy. It's a clever strategy that you put in place. Maybe it doesn't serve you now, but it served you at one point. You put that strategy in place as a desperate attempt to soothe the pain of your unmet needs. I want you to let me know if this is starting to land. You created a strategy in order to survive. It's how the nervous system tries to find balance in an imbalanced world. And yet, what is it we do? We judge. We judge ourselves for it. We bash ourselves. We critique ourselves. We carry shame, and we call ourselves weak. We call ourselves flawed. We think that we're broken. But you have to remember, this addiction, whatever it is, the addiction is not a moral failing. It is a response to pain. And for as long as you keep dealing with the addiction, whatever that addiction is, right? For as long, addiction, behavior, food, anything. But for as long as you keep trying to focus your attention on dealing with the addiction, you're not actually targeting the root cause. You're not looking at the pain. You're not looking at why that strategy became so important for you. Because all it is a response to something, and it's a response that can be unlearned. And it's unlearned when we meet the pain with compassion, when we meet that inner child and we understand why the inner child felt unloved, unseen, not enough, unheard, whatever the story is. But we meet the child at that level. We heal that moment and everything changes. So when you understand that the root cause isn't the behavior, then you'll understand that it's actually the wound. The root cause is the wound. So I want to ask you, are you wearing a mask in order to stay safe? Are you wearing a mask in order to stay safe? We've got landing, 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 beautiful. Is there an aspect of you, perhaps you're really confident in one scenario but not in another? Perhaps you're strong, got it all together in one aspect of life but not in another. So again, my question is, are you wearing a mask in order to stay safe? Why else would you wear the mask? Ultimately, we wear masks in order to stay safe. I used to. I used to wear a mask. There was a time in my life where I desperately wanted to appear normal because I believed I wasn't. I was intuitive is a softer word, right? But, psychic. I would see things before they happened. I would see spirit. That wasn't normal as, 50 odd years ago, 50 something years ago. I've just realized I'm forever young. I'm forever young. But that was just yesterday. It feels like just yesterday. But I was petrified of being institutionalized because I was not considered normal. And there were all sorts of horrible therapies that happened to people like that back then. But I desperately wanted to appear normal. So I wore a mask. I didn't want people to know that I saw things before they happened, that I saw spirit, that I felt things, that I knew things 3 or 4 days before they would happen. I didn't want anybody knowing that. So I kept it hidden. But what was I doing when I kept it hidden? I kept myself hidden, tucked away, like tucked deep within me, right, far away where nobody could see me. I wouldn't let anybody see the real me. Why? Because I was in fear. I feared what people would think. I feared judgment. I feared being labeled. I feared being institutionalized or misunderstood. So I wore that mask and I thought I did a damn good job. But what did I do? I silenced my truth. I prioritized fitting in over being real. And for a time, I actually managed to convince the world that I was like everybody else. But I did more harm to me than good. Inside, I was disconnected from my very essence, the very essence of who I am. I was deeply betraying my soul for the sake of some perceived BS safety. I believed I needed to be like everybody else in order to be safe. Please let me know if this is really landing for you, if you're starting to recognize that you've been doing this in some aspect of your life as well. I was betraying myself. I was betraying my soul. I was betraying my purpose for the sake of some perceived safety. And that betrayal, if we're going to be completely honest, was me being my own perpetrator. I was hurting myself, and that is trauma as well. So if we all look at the fact, if we wear masks, we have to understand that we are traumatizing ourselves, that we are continuing to feed a bullshit story when you know damn well that you are here to be you, that you are born to shine, that you are born to stand in your power, to live in your power, and to be the greatest version of yourself. And whilst we might get upset because we say we have a fear of judgment because other people judge us, or we want everybody to perceive us a certain way, do you perceive yourself with love and kindness? Do you judge yourself harshly? Well, then you are your own perpetrator. There are so many addictions that we have. There are so many stories that we have. And wearing a mask is an addiction. Wearing a mask is an addiction. Yes, yes. All right, it's landing for people. Let me tell you, it was only when I gave myself full permission to be me, like unapologetically me, that true healing began. And this is what I want for each and every one of you, Kylie, landing, beautiful. This is what I want for all of you. You've got to stop suppressing aspects of yourself just so that you can fit in, just so that you can be liked, so you can stay in a particular group. Every suppressed emotion has a cost. Every time you bite your tongue, it costs you. Every time you shrink yourself, it costs you. Every time you push your pain down, it doesn't disappear. You're just storing it. You're storing it in the body. You're storing that unexpressed anger. You're storing that unexpressed pain. Unexpressed anger can show up as tension and inflammation. Chronic fear can manifest as digestive issues. Grief, unhealed grief can turn into deep fatigue, like chronic fatigue type issues or autoimmune issues. And grief doesn't come just from losing somebody close to you. Grief comes mostly from losing yourself, from losing aspects of yourself, from not standing in your power, from burying deeply or deeply burying aspects of yourself. You might think you've got a distraction. You're going to busy yourself here. You're going to do this and you're going to focus on this now so that you don't have to think about these other things. Sure, that's going to maybe work in your brain for a little bit until you have quiet moments when you lay down and put your head on the pillow. But your body keeps score. Your body is keeping tabs of absolutely everything. So where there is unresolved emotion, there is energetic disruption. Where there is unresolved emotion, there is energetic disruption. And where there is disruption, there is often illness. Is that landing for everybody? But there's good news. When you resolve the root cause, the body begins to heal. When you feel safe, when you feel safe enough to feel, the energy moves. When you stop abandoning yourself and you start listening, the body responds. Perhaps you've spent years and years burying emotions deep inside, trapping them in the hope that they'll never reappear. But the only way is up and out. You can't continue to bury them somewhere and think that they're not going to, that toxicity isn't going to come as some sort of illness. It has to make its way up and out. Another one of Dr. Gabor's most impactful insights is we're born with two core needs: authenticity and attachment. But the issue is when they come into conflict, we, especially as children, we sacrifice authenticity for attachment. Now, I did say we do that as children, but we also do it as adults in our relationships. Because if you did it as a child and you thought it worked for you, if you thought that you could perhaps take on the pattern of needing to please in order to feel loved, in order for people to stay your friends at school, in order to keep the peace, and all these things that we would do, then you have literally sacrificed yourself. You have sacrificed your authenticity for attachment. Perhaps you were, as a child, you were soft and caring and nurturing, but you felt like it didn't work for you. You had to learn to step into the masculine. If you're a female, you had to step into the masculine to be tough and survive in the world, to survive in these harsh conditions of your environment. Perhaps you did that. Whatever reason you gave it, whatever story you had, you created a strategy that perhaps worked for you in that moment. But because it worked for you in that moment, you believed that that was the only way to be, that that was the only way to live your life. So in childhood, we often believe that love comes with conditions. I've got to be a good boy or a good girl to be loved. Be the good girl. Don't be too loud. Don't cry. Don't get angry. Don't be too much. Don't shine too bright. Speak only when you're spoken to, because children are to be seen and not heard. So then what is it we do? We adapt, because we believe that that's the way to survive in the environment. We became who we needed to be in order to feel safe and loved. So can you see you created strategies from when you were very young? But did it work? Did it work in the long term? No. Because in doing so, we often left parts of ourselves behind. You adapted yourself in order to do what you thought needed to be done to keep you safe in that moment. But the problem is it's stuck in adulthood. And you're wondering why you feel held back, way down, why you can't see your purpose clearly, why you can't see the path ahead clearly, why you don't even know what your purpose is. So healing is the process of going back to those parts. It's about welcoming all of these parts back. For those who've done CTC training with me, you would know the parts integration, right? I have always known this to be true. This is why I created CTC, because I saw how traditional approaches often treat the symptoms, not the causes. CTC does that. CTC addresses the root causes. It clears the subconscious programs. It clears the limiting beliefs, the energetic blocks, and all of the unresolved trauma that silently shapes your life. And yes, we're like onions. We're layered, right? We peel the layers. And it combines multiple modalities into one very powerful and seamless process. We're no longer in a time where you have to spend years unpacking what can be shifted now. A CTC session is exceptionally, exceptionally powerful. And there's more and more evidence coming out about the fact that if you want to heal, you have to go back to the moment in time where something happened that disrupted you at a cellular level and created the illness. More and more evidence is coming out. In the CTC sessions, and we have CTC therapists here on this call. So again, if you haven't mentioned that you're a therapist, feel free to do so. If you watch the replay and you're a therapist, feel free to mention it in the comments. But during a CTC session, we're releasing, we're reprogramming, we're restoring, and we're returning you to who you were before you were told who you should be. We're getting rid of those things that made you feel like you're not good enough. Actually, I'm being called to do a quick process with you now. So what I would like for you to do is to make yourself nice and comfortable. And as long as you are not driving, I would like for you to close your eyes. Thanks so much, Kylie. Whenever you're ready, I want you to close your eyes. Thanks, Marina. Oh, I keep disappearing. I'm hoping I'm appearing for everybody else okay. So when you're ready, making yourself nice and comfortable. Gently closing your eyes. Take a deep breath in and exhale a little longer than the inhale. And again, a deep breath in and exhale a little longer than the inhale. Really allowing your body to know that it's safe to be here. It's safe to be here. It's safe to be in this process. It's safe to let go. Continue breathing deeply, rhythmically. Being sure to exhale a little longer than the inhale to really allow your body to relax, to be here, and to more easily take that inward journey. That's right. Each and every breath relaxing you more and more. The sound of my voice, soft, soothing, relaxing. And I want you to feel your body supported by the surface beneath you. That's right. And now imagine a beautiful, soft, white light above your head. It's warm, it's safe, it's loving. And this beautiful divine light in all of its power, it begins to pour down through your crown, gently washing over your entire body. That's right. With each and every breath, you feel it relaxing you deeper and deeper relaxed. In fact, the deeper you go, the deeper you want to go. That's right. Clearing away the old energy. Soothing every cell. Bringing that sense of peace, calm, and relaxation to you here and now. And now I want for you to see yourself as a child, just a younger version of you. The perfect image will come to mind, it always does. See that younger version of you standing before you now. What does this younger you need to hear? What would change everything? What does that younger version of you need to hear the most right now? Whisper it. Whisper it now. And now, reach out and place your hand on your inner child's heart and place their hand on your heart. And whisper the words again. The words that your inner child needs to hear the most, whisper them again. Feel that deep connection. Feel the unity, the love. And now repeat, I love you. I love you. You are safe. You are seen. You are free to be you. And notice how that younger version of you feels. Notice the differences. And take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, I want you now to feel that younger version of you merging with the present day you. Merging with you, whole, healed, and home. And let this beautiful energy stay. Let it stay with you. Let this be your new frequency. And remember that healing doesn't happen in a rush. It happens the moment you stop running away from yourself. It begins when you say, I'm no longer ashamed of my story. I'm ready to live in my truth. You don't need to hide anymore. You don't need to shrink or pretend. You were never broken. You were never too much. But you've been always born to be you. And the world needs the real you. The world needs the real you. And when you're ready, bringing back the truths, the awareness, the shifts, the changes, the messages, all of it. Bringing it all back into the present moment. Taking a deep breath in. And as you exhale, opening your eyes. Knowing that you are here to be you. That the world needs the real you. And if this message has touched something deep within you, then you've got to know that nothing happens by chance, that it's not by accident. This is your invitation. And if you're ready to go deeper, if you're ready to release, if you're ready to reset and to rise, then perhaps CTC is what it is that you need right now. I've been doing this work for nearly 3 decades. The miracles that I witness, the shifts, the changes when people are ready are incredible. We're in a 9-year, an energetic or universal 9-year with numerology, a year of endings, a year where veils are lifting, truths are being revealed. The unhealed stuff within us is making its way up and out because we're moving into a 1 year, a year of new beginnings. So just be aware when you have those shit days, when things aren't working for you, when you've got feelings and memories from your past coming up, know that it's because things are being shaken up and out. They're coming to your awareness so that you can release them. Don't grab them, feed them, fuel them, and put them back in, but instead allow them to stay in motion because energy has to stay in motion. So allow them up and out, hand them to the passing clouds. But it's so important that you do this work this year. And the beautiful thing to note is that perhaps not only are you ready for change, but that your healing doesn't just change your life. It changes absolutely everything because it's universal law. When one thing changes, everything changes. It's not possible for anything to stay the same. So I think I'm going to leave it there. When one thing changes, everything changes. But if you don't change, nothing changes. If you choose to stay the same, if you choose to do the same old, if you choose to continue to do things the same way, then all you're going to keep on attracting is more of the same. The choice is yours. So I'll wait a moment just to see if anyone has any questions. It appears that it was glitching for a couple of people. I'm hoping everybody else heard everything okay. Okay. Much, much love to you all. I always love spending this time with you. I will look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks for our next call. You are so very welcome, Rencha. All right, everybody, good night. Wishing you the most amazing evening, and I will see you in a fortnight. Good night.